So hello everyone, this is Arc 3 and today we will tackle one of the fundamental aspects of the game, which is shipments. So shipments is actually an important tool or like an important place since this is one of the areas where you can farm your characters, your gear pieces of course, and lastly your mods. Now, this actually begs the question, how do you speed up your decision-making process of which gear, piece, or character you will prioritize? So if you're interested to learn more about this, let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is go to your characters tab or like your collection tab here, and then favorite all of the characters you need to farm, and then from there we need to check the gear or let's say the characters you are farming if they are showing in the shipments. So for example, if I want to farm let's say HK47, all I have to do is favorite it, and then from there check if the gear pieces are in the shipments. So for example, Carotex, if I need them, so I just click find. Oops, loading. So there's no locations for that. But if I go for like the individual pieces, I just go find. And then from there, everything will be shown. So as you can see, gear found in the weekly shipments are there, even in the event store, which is also in the shipments. And then if you've already collected them, it will no longer be shown here. That is actually the easiest way to do it. And if of course similar to farming, it will be shown here. So for HK47, he can be found in the squad arena store. Now if you are a new player to the game, maybe let's go through the shipments one by one so that you have a better understanding as to what is essential and what is not essential when you're going through the shipments, so that it won't be overwhelming for you. So of course, let's start with the essential ones. So first would be the featured shipments. Majority here, as you can see, there are a lot of crystals. Don't buy the characters. For the gear, it's situational depending on your crystal income. But for the gear pieces here that are only going to like be spending credits, so I highly suggest getting them. So let's do it right now. Well, for my account, real quick. So buy them every day. Well, every 6 hours actually. And then the rest you can skip. Most of the characters here are obtainable free to play, so it's not actually recommended to buy characters here. Now for the weekly shipments, again, if you are new to the game, do not do what I do, where I just bought character shards and of course ship shards for like 1,000,000 credits. It's not economically viable if you're new to the game. But if you have like 45 or a lot of credits already, then that is actually fine. Don't buy, of course, the gear piece here. And then for your guild tokens, it depends, I guess. 5 omegas for like 825 Mark 1 tokens, maybe. But I would rather spend those Mark 1 rate tokens from like something else. Similar to this Omicron here, do not use your guild currency just to buy one Omicron. Even the reinforcement materials here, don't use your ally points just to buy them. Similar to the Carotex, there are other places to purchase them, which I will share later. But for the light side and dark side currency, this is actually a good deal in a way if you have crystals to spare, since it's quite tricky to farm up your light side and dark side currency with normal energy. In fact, even if you like spend 250 crystals in one day, it's not actually guaranteed that you'll get 25 of this currency in one go. Now for the second essential part, which is actually your squad arena, if you haven't finished all of the character farming yet, then I would suggest farming up your characters for CLS, so that is actually Princess Leia. And then after Princess Leia, your next priority would be Moff Tarkin because of his capital ship. Then of course Greedo, HK47, IG88 depending on your priority. Lastly would be Newt Gunray. And then second priority, if you're farm rushing C, then of course Darth Sidious is a priority. Then the rest that I haven't mentioned is actually a bit low priority. Maybe Kanan, if you're going for Thrawn, would be like second priority. But I would highly suggest Princess Leia, Moff Tarkin first. And then for the gear pieces here, I highly do not want to spend my arena tokens for buying gear, simply because you already have the guild activity, shard shop, and of course your guild events tab to like get your gear. So ideally, what you want to do with your arena currency is to buy prestige, simply because you will need these ability maps to upgrade your capital ships. So let's buy one now. And then lastly would be the mod store. Now, for the mod store, if you haven't farmed up all of your ships, then of course the Geonoceans would be your priority. Boba Fett, of course, would be a priority Boba Fett ship if it's showing up here. Razor Crest, in fact, is also a priority. Unfortunately, it's not showing right now. But if he shows up, then definitely get him. But if you have already farmed up everything, then definitely buy Zeta material mats here, since you will be needing them to upgrade specials, uniques, even leadership abilities for characters. So this is where most of your Zeta farming would be, besides fleet challenges. Now let's move on to gear farming. Now for gear farming, there are three places where you can do this. So first would be the guild activity. Even if your guild tokens are nerfed already, but you have your Mark 1, Mark 2, and as well Mark 3 tokens to replace them. So let's go through it later. I would like to show you where first you can farm your gear. Second would be the guild events. And then here, similar to guild tokens, you can find pieces of gear and of course character shards as well, for special characters that you can farm. Second to the last would be your Grand Arena currency. And then lastly would be your shard shop, where all of your extra character shards, if you've already unlocked them, would fall. So every extra character shard you farm would be immediately sent here, and then it will be converted to shard shop currency. Now, for gear farming, let's go first back again to the guild activity. For guild tokens, again, it would depend on your priority, but highly purchase your Mark 3 holos here. Implants, if ever. And then, I guess that's it right now. Oh yeah, your Mark 4 back to gel salvage, you need those as well. And then, what else? Yeah, your Mark 5 here. And then that's it. Now for, if you wanna get characters using your guild tokens, then definitely get Colonel Stark first, and then Zam for bounty hunters, then Logray, of course. Maybe B2, but B2 can be farmed actually if you scroll down to the bottom with your Mark 1 currency. So you can actually use your Mark 1 currency now to buy characters, just to progress faster in the game. But for gear farming, since this is already gear farming part, do not use your Mark 1 tokens randomly. Similar to what I've discussed earlier, make sure you've checked first if the character you're farming needs that gear. But if you're like already complete in the game, or like you've already completed all of your character farm, then highly stock up your Mark 5. Of course, your gels here. And then if there are carbantes like this one, definitely farm them, your Mark 3. Don't confuse them with the Mark 4. Of course, more holo projectors would be nice, since you'll be needing them to scrap for relics. And then your Mark 7 here as well. So those are like your priority gear. Oh wait, just to add would be your Mark 3 stun cups there. So that is actually now all of your priority gear for like Mark 1. For Mark 2, definitely farm up every Gear 12 piece that you need. If it's already in excess, make sure that you prioritize those that you need, because you don't wanna randomly waste your Mark 2 tokens if you like already have them, or if your character um, doesn't need it. So always prioritize the ones that you need. Otherwise, it will actually slow down your progression, since raids right now is like only happening twice or thrice a week. So for my case, I need a Mark 7, Nubian Design Tech Salvage, so I'll buy them right now. And lastly would be your Mark 3 tokens. Now for Mark 3, this is actually being used to farm aeromags, impulse detectors, even Zimbadal cards if you need them. If you're going for gear 9, then definitely the Gerda pad, since this would actually save you a lot of time. And of course, this is actually the best way to farm up your Relic 9 rather than, let's say, farming up gear 12 pieces just to like turn them to scrap for Relic 9. So this is actually the more economical way right now. So that's all for the guild activity. Now, for guild events, the only thing that matters here actually is your Chirotex. So for if you haven't finished up, let's say, farming up, let's say Kia de Mundi for Mark 3, then definitely get that, or whatever conquest character or ship that comes out here, then definitely get them. Anything in excess would be Chirotech farming already. So that goes for Mark 3 and Mark 2. So as you can see, I've already bought it. Now for Mark 1, definitely finish your characters here. And then if not, similar to your Mark 2 tokens, definitely prioritize Gear 12. If not, these pieces here to finish up your Gear 12 plus as well. So mostly Gear 12 farming here. Now for Grand Arena, the only thing important here is this one, Chirotech. So there are actually 2 to 3 places already to, two places to farm up your Chirotech. So it's the guild events and Grand Arena. So make sure you're farming those daily if you have the currency. And then moving on finally to the shard shop. Here would be, of course, Gear 12, Gear 12 Plus. And then if there are like Mark 3 or Holo Salvage here, then definitely get them. So yeah, that is actually it for gear farming. Now for characters, this one, I've placed a link in the description below, because there are already a lot of guides from my fellow content creators regarding character farming in the shipment, so you can check them out. But for the purposes of this video, let's go through what you shouldn't be buying instead. Now for the Cantina battles, what you shouldn't buy would be Pao, Bistan, Jawa Scavenger, Jedi Knight Guardian, Mob Enforcer, and then maybe First Order Officer if you don't need him. But if you're going for SLKR, then definitely get him. Poe Dameron is not that of a priority also. And then, yeah, that's it. Oh, wait, I forgot Hoth Rebel Scout. Don't farm him up as well. But everyone else that I didn't mention, definitely farm them. Chopper, of course, is needed for Grand Admiral Throne, so definitely get him. For Squad Arena, I've discussed this already. So definitely farm up your Kia de Mundi, Razor Crest if he shows up, Malevolence, Negotiator, and then your characters here. For Mark 1, definitely don't go for Gar Saxon, and then of course Bistan, don't go for him. Zeb, easily farmable at the Galactic War store, so don't go for him here. But other than that, if you wanna speed up Royal Guard or maybe Princess Leia, then definitely get them. Ships, of course, high priority here. Going back to the Galactic War store, definitely don't farm Night Sister Initiate. Tibo, don't get him early on. Dacha, IG-86, Tusken Raider, Resistance Pilot, and maybe Captain Phasma and Magma Trooper, but between the two, definitely deprioritize Magna Trooper. Captain Phasma, of course, you'll be needing her for SLKR Rush. And then, of course, the ships here are priority, except for Jedi Counselor Starfighter. You may not use that as much, but for Ahsoka Tano and Biggs X-Wing, definitely a priority. Shard Shop, the only place here would be Grievous, so as much as possible, if you haven't farmed him yet, get him here, and of course the Fleet Arena if he shows up. Now, for the Conquest Store, most of the time you don't need the stim packs, maybe if you're like rushing through Conquest, but don't buy gear here. Rather, you have to use your Conquest currency to buy character shards whenever they show up, especially if you haven't unlocked them, as long as you have the currency, simply because Conquest farming is very grindy to say the least, simply because you'll be only farm them once a month through the proving grounds. And the catch there is you need to have a relic team to get them, and if you don't have it, then this is actually the next best thing to go for, especially if you're starting from scratch. And yeah, that is actually for Conquest. And then lastly, well, for Datacrons, if you're not interested, then you can end this video already. But for those who are, if you have like excess shard shop, and this is the place where you can buy your materials to upgrade your Datacrons. And this is actually not the best place to buy them. You can actually just grind them out, I guess. Free to play when Conquest comes around. Otherwise, save your shard shop currency for like the abilities material here, or like the upgrade materials, I mean, here. So that's it for today's video. I hope you picked up a thing or two that can help you in your SWGOH progression. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, I'll show on the end screen a bit my other SWGOH clips if you're interested to see that, and my SOTOR clips if you want to see those as well. And yeah, see you in the next video. May the force be with you, amazing holotable heroes, and have a great day or evening. Bye for now.